Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, June 18th. Today we will continue to deal with record heat across Utah, Nevada, and up into southern Idaho today. Also, our thunderstorm chances will increase with still isolated coverage in most areas. However, again, increasing across Utah a little bit further north and also west into eastern and western portions of Nevada. By Saturday, we will see a cold front start to drop south, so it will cool areas across Idaho and northern Utah, and also bring gusty winds and still dry conditions to Idaho and Wyoming, with wind gusts around 30 miles per hour. Lightning chances, this will also push our lightning chances further to the east on Saturday, mainly over central and eastern Utah. These thunderstorms today and tomorrow will still be mostly dry, although some areas will see localized rainfall. There will also be very gusty winds associated with these thunderstorms affecting ongoing incidents, and also brings the potential for new starts. By Sunday, that cold front sweeps through the Great Basin, pushing any lightning chances off to the east, but it will also bring gusty winds and dry conditions with more of a west to northwest wind component to central and eastern Utah, affecting all of our large fires. These wind gusts will likely be somewhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Over the last 24 hours, we saw isolated thunderstorms over southern Utah and also along parts of the far southern areas of the Sierra Front. These thunderstorms, again, as you can see from the precip on the left, were mostly dry. We did have a couple rainfall amounts beneath the cores of some of these storms around 0.15 or 0.2 of an inch. So again, localized rainfall expected again today, but still those dry strikes with gusty outflow winds. Great Basin fire activity is shown here with our new fires indicated in red. You can see a couple of new large fires over the last 24 to 48 hours over western Nevada and also over northern Utah, with smaller fires reported elsewhere. Still, our main fires of concern are over eastern Utah and then up into the Wasatch Mountains with Bear, Benyon Creek, and Pack Creek. Over the last 7 days, we've had very dry conditions over the southern half of the Great Basin and over eastern Idaho into Wyoming. This precip over western Idaho was really 7 days or longer ago, and you can see that percent of normal is generally above normal where we saw that area of more wetting rains, but obviously still well below normal elsewhere across the Great Basin. ERCs remain above the 97th percentile over much of Utah and into eastern Nevada, and ERCs have increased where we saw that drier weather, especially over central and eastern Idaho, into Wyoming, with many areas over the 80th or even 90th percentile. Along the Sierra Front and western Nevada, we are seeing those ERCs continue to rise. Our ERC charts in the north show ERCs are approaching record highs for Idaho for the time of year. And also over western Nevada, we've been at record highs for some time and continuing to increase. And obviously across Utah, still seeing very critical conditions at or near record highs and above the 97th percentile. We still have a fuels and fire behavior advisory in effect for the areas shaded in red for the exceptional drought and also for the record high ERCs and record low fuel moisture and pinyon juniper die-off. The satellite image from this morning still shows the strong ridge of high pressure dominating the west. Obviously, you can see where that moisture has now crept north under that ridge across much of Utah into central and eastern Nevada. So again, that's where we'll see our lightning activity today. And you can see where we have high risk today, again, over much of from western Nevada across central and eastern Nevada and then down across southern, central, and eastern Utah. Again, these thunderstorms will mostly be isolated, but again, being on the drier side with the gusty outflow winds and our very dry conditions, that will certainly be a concern today. You can see here on the left, this is a radar depiction of where we may see some of those thunderstorms later this afternoon. And then also relative humidity, although it will increase somewhat as that moisture moves north, still remaining in the single digits to low teens, so still very dry conditions. On Saturday, that cold front again drops south into the northern Rockies, skimming the Great Basin, pushing our lightning chances over central and eastern Utah. We will have some of those gusty winds up across Idaho, but right now it looks like wind gusts will be right around 30 miles per hour, so we don't have any high risk in those areas, and those areas have not seen recent lightning. But it will be something to watch for Saturday if we do get some new starts. On Saturday, again, the better chances of lightning move across Utah. We could see some of those thunderstorms develop over western Utah, but then quickly transition to the central and eastern portion of the state. Relative humidity increases to around 10 to 15% over central and eastern Utah, but still very dry, and obviously we still have drier conditions across Nevada and up across Idaho. By Sunday, that system is well off to the east. We will have a ridge of high pressure building in but we have those gusty winds as that cold front does drop south. So again, gusty winds will be impacting central and eastern Utah on Sunday, with wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour and more of a northwest to west wind component. By Sunday, again, you can see where those stronger winds will be located, a little bit stronger than what we'll see on Saturday up north, and obviously impacting all of our large fires and any new incidents, so it certainly will be something to monitor with those still very dry relative humidities. Looking at our high temperature trend over the next few days, we still will have high temperatures near or at records over much of Nevada, Utah, and into southern Idaho today. On Saturday, we will see those temperatures cool across Idaho as that cold front drops down, but still only by a few degrees, with still very hot conditions across Nevada and Utah. And then by Sunday, we will see certainly a little bit more of a cooling trend across Idaho and Wyoming, and even into northern Utah. However, we will see still hot temperatures over western Nevada for another day before those temperatures begin to drop. Forecast amounts of precipitation are shown here, and you can see generally just light precipitation expected and very spotty associated with those thunderstorm activity. By Monday, we will see the ridge of high pressure continue to build. However, again, we are seeing some cooler temperatures going into the early to mid portion of next week from what we are seeing this week. We have no high risk, but we will have to watch this area of low pressure off the west coast for any gustier winds over especially western and southern areas of Nevada going into the early part of next week. Looks like any lightning associated with this system will hold off until maybe Tuesday, and mainly being located up into Oregon and Northern California. We will have to watch southwest Idaho. Thunderstorms may be moving into southwest Idaho by the early portion of next week. Otherwise, looks like a couple of days of gusty winds for parts of Nevada and Utah on Tuesday, and also going into Wednesday. We don't have any high risk issued yet, but we'll likely need some high risk over parts of Nevada or Utah for those gusty southwest winds, but right now we're just trying to narrow down the area. And then we will have chances of thunderstorms, looks like going into the early to mid portion of next week for Idaho, but right now it's looking like we will have some moisture with those storms, but again, that will be something we'll be monitoring. And by Thursday, that area of low pressure slides a little bit further south, so our wind threat will likely start decreasing, but still very dry conditions across the Great Basin. 7-day forecast amount of precipitation, not much different than the 3-day, with the thunderstorms happening in the first few days. The 8 to 14-day outlook from June 25th through July 1st shows above normal temperatures and dry conditions for the Great Basin. So again, we are watching for that monsoon to develop, but it's looking like it will take its time, and still looking at dry conditions going into the end of June. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.